Do you remember what the pod big key was?
I do not. I'm sorry.
So Simple Clips, if he gets the ice shard right away, the game isn't over for him because Hyrule doesn't have the tempered sword that I think was. I don't know if he'll get it when he's in go mode. And if the pod big key is late, then Hyrule also has to do all of pod. Who knows? Who knows if that's enough? But it is definitely something. But Simple Clips having to do the GT climb could also be a problem. But as long as he doesn't go back and full clear it, he could save a little bit of time from that save and quit earlier.
Yeah, pod's not a very go-modable dungeon. I definitely agree with that point. So, Hyruler showing us how to use this portal without a glove, or without the mitts. Actually opening the front door as well.
Yeah, I think we'll see the glove used exactly once, and that will be to get to pod using one of those portals. I don't see any reason to use anywhere else. In fact, Hyruler just has to do TR and pod, so it's probably game, but it's still... This is a big group race. There's actually a ton of people in it. I counted 10 when we started, which is pretty big for a glitch race. So you could play for placement rather than necessarily racing the person on restream with you. And also, you know, both of these are mentees, so just having some practice routing on your own is also valuable experience.
Yes, definitely. And depending on this key layout in Turtle Rock, we might see some interesting routing from Hyruler.
Yeah, you mean going forwards instead of backwards like a normal person?
Well, if the big key is in one of these front checks, he could mirror and then leave and then go straight to the back, which is possibly what he's doing.
If he leaves and does the back, this is faster than doing the back to front, which is... It's not, you know, it could just be in the middle and then it's faster to do it from the back, but it's kind of cool that he did that and probably saved time. I think he's doing this because he doesn't know the mirror app, so he still has to do middle. But he just needs, he needs like, what, 2 keys to get to the back, so he can get the big chest key and hope that one shows up on either Crystal Ruler Room or Laser Bridge.
Logically, there might have to be one on... Or no, don't listen to me, sorry, I don't know. I would think there has to be one on Laser Bridge, but that could be not true.
Yeah, and Simple Clips has found go mode behind the shovel, so that is confirmed. I'm really interested to see the end game. If Simple Clips can catch up by having the Tempered Sword on Ganon, and also by not having to do pod, but he'll have to do GT climb, so it's definitely an uphill battle for Clips, but it's not over. I'm surprised he didn't go to Desert while he was there. Maybe we'll do Desert after Swamp. That's what this is, right? This is Swamp. Go mode Swamp, and then either go to pod or go to Desert, or save and quit and do something else.
So this is quite a friendly seed that we have, and no pendant dips required whatsoever.
Yeah, well, it's friendly if you do the escape. I would consider the escape a pendant. But
That
if you
is
do,
true.
it's hard because you want to do Eastern. Gosh, I almost think that Eastern, a required bolus Eastern would have actually made this a better seed because you would almost always do the escape first and get your mirror. And then you would double dip Eastern, but that's better than getting the mirror really late. Or
You're
you can
right.
also just get lucky and go to the escape early. This seed was nice if you do the right things, but it's pretty
This is
bad
getting
if you
scary
don't.
for. Oh, okay, good.
High Ruler caught fairies climbing GT, so
Okay.
I think it was fine. I think he has two. I think he's pretty safe.
Okay, fair enough. It looked like that fight was getting out of control, though.
Yeah, Master Sword Trinix can be tough, even for experienced players. Like even at the highest level, it can get out of control. The longer the fight goes on, the more RNG factors in. Trinix can move its head, so it can move its body. Here's the clip that you would use to get to pod. So this routing from High Ruler suddenly makes tons of sense. So he did front first because he wanted the door to be open so he could leave, and clip down to pod.
Yeah.
I really like High Ruler's routing through this seed. I think it's shown a lot of it's surprising that he was able to learn how to route glitched in 2 weeks this well, because this is pretty good. This is really good routing.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought to do that, but in my defense, I kind of went straight to HMG. I rarely, if ever, play Overworld Glitches Seeds, so I wouldn't have thought to do this.
HMG lets you turn your brain off when you think about pod. You just do pod from the mountain every time. There's nothing fancy about it. It's actually easier in some ways. Overall glitches, you have to be a little more creative about how to do pod. And in no glitches, you just have like 2 ways to get there, and you use one of the two. So it's overall glitches is probably like the most complex in terms of getting to pod.
Yeah, pod and no glitches. That's pretty out of the way.
Nice flute. Swamp. We won't be activating that. Even if Meyer is a crystal, I mean, they've already been there. You don't need them. You don't need a flute. If you get it early, you can activate it for some time save, but it's not worth activating at the hour mark. Definitely not in go mode.
Yeah, certainly not.
So what is this? Simple Clips has Turtle Rock and Desert and GT. Depending on how they route Turtle Rock, it could take quite a while. GT is just a climb, and you'll do that last because it will get you to the pyramid, and you can fight Aga right away, or Ganon. Ruler has a nice, easy path to get out of pod. You can just run over to Ganon. It's probably faster than saving and quitting, and will retain his full magic and health. He won't be on like partial health going into Ganon.
Yeah, leaving out the front door of pod is definitely not the worst thing he could do, I think, in this case.
Now, Ganon is a challenge for High Ruler just because of the magic situation. Having the lamp is really good here because he can do lamp torch glitch. But this will be a Master Sword Silverless Ganon. Guaranteed. Because we know High Ruler didn't get... We know High Ruler didn't get the sword here, right? Or maybe he did. I'm pretty sure I saw him get it in an overall location. Or simple clips, rather.
I know, unfortunately, between the tech issues with the stream and my own personal tech issues, I think I've missed a lot of it. I'm not sure where the third sword was. They both had 2 swords for a long time, though.
Oh, so it was Myershed. Okay. I thought I saw it in an overall location. That was a very late big key, though. So not what you want to see in a go mode pod situation, but still the advantage to High Ruler in this feed, as long as he can pull off the Ganon fight after this.
Oh, well, that is unfortunate for High Ruler, though, missing out on that Meyer Shed sword, because he did try to clip down to Meyer from the looks of it, but decided not to.
I think he was not terribly familiar with the cues. That clip is really weird. Like, I actually had to relearn it for the mentor tournament because I was doing it in like a really weird way that's not good for teaching, and I couldn't remember how to do it.
Yeah, there's like 3 different ways to do it, honestly. There's the one that's kind of like desert, there's one where you kind of go like straight down, and there's one where you get on top of the... I don't know. I guess it's hard to explain. It would be just easier to show it, but there's for sure at least 3 different ways to do that that I've seen.
There's also like 10 different ways to do it wrong, so if you try 9 of them and get frustrated, I can see why you would just say, I'll do it later.
Yeah. High Ruler would have to struggle quite a bit with this Ganon fight, because, I don't know, the world record GT climb is still like close to 4 minutes, so that's quite a bit of, like, to make up.
Yeah, not to mention Turtle Rock is still outstanding
Yeah.
for simple clips, and the big key is in a pretty nasty location if you do the normal back to front routing. If you do what High Ruler did, it's a little faster, but it's still pretty slow. Yeah, and because High Ruler has 2 fairies, like the only way for this to fail is either a Ganon fall or run out of magic. Miss Torch glitch. As long as he plays it safe, we'll be okay.
Yeah, I don't know, anything is possible with Ganon. Like, I've went through phases of been like, oh, I think I got my Master Sword Ganon down, and then the next time I have to do it, it's just, like, not there anymore. So, I don't know. It's a pretty tough fight.
Yeah, and also they're both still on green mail. High Ruler could actually burn through both fairies on this fight if he plays aggressively. Choosing to save and quit, which is going to put him at a health disadvantage going into Ganon as well. Simple Clips is manually lining up a mirror wrap, but it looks like a good lineup, so I think it'll be okay. I'm guessing it's just the normal snap method either didn't work or he doesn't know it, but knows the cue well enough. You have to hit left and Y at the same time to get this wrap. It jukes the transition so you can hit it from the wrong side, and when you do that, you scroll over half a screen over. And it looks like he was a little bit high up, so it got stuck on the wall. But normally you could hold up and hop down into Laser Bridge. There's a setup that makes this pretty free, but you have to know it. Okay, we got a fairy back up here, so High Ruler can go in at full health.
And possibly worth noting, no one has finished this race yet.
Oh yeah, and with the mirror being where it was, I'd actually expect the people who are more comfortable with glitches to be at a disadvantage because those are the people who put off the escape and will rush Dark World and do other things. The escape is just not appealing for people who are not, who are, you know, who think that they have better things to do. And the shovel is even worse. If you miss out on that mirror, that's really the ice rod that's going to get you. Because eventually you'll go back to the escape for the density, but there's nothing dense about the shovel. You pretty much have to do it on its own, or you have to do it with desert. Alright, Simple Clips again using the manual lineup. Hopefully he gets it this time. That looked a little bit high. And High Ruler is... No, okay, we got the mirror wrap, that's good. High Ruler is on 3 hearts, but I think has 2 fairies, if not more. Simple Clips found a sword on Laser Bridge that High Ruler didn't get. So that makes me think that there's a key in Crystal Roller Room. High Ruler didn't do Laser Bridge at all. Laser Bridge would have been really good because it had blue mail and a sword. It's not.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
High
not going to
Ruler
do
got
much
a
for.
key. I'm sorry. I was just gonna say the keys that High Ruler got were in the big chest of TR and Crystal Roller, and he totally skipped Laser Bridge.
Yeah, which is the correct thing to do. Simple Clips ran out of magic on TR using Burna, so also didn't get nearly as much of an advantage of doing Laser Bridge as High Ruler would have because he already had Tempered. Oh, we're just on a straight magic hunt here. That's pretty rough. So Simple Clips has to get the full magic that's here to even continue. Meanwhile, High Ruler has gotten the torch glitch and just has to do the spins for Ganon. Should be okay if he's getting doubles, if not triples. Lamp triples are pretty tough, so I think he'll be okay though.
He's doing it though.
Ganon is not giving friendly warps for lamp triples.
Yeah, sometimes patience is a virtue with this fight.
Yeah, especially when your biggest danger is using up your magic. I don't think Simple Clips has a fairy. Because he would have used it in Pod. But he does have a red potion, I definitely saw that. Oh, okay. I'm gonna assume High Ruler is counting to 24 because taking out the Fire Rod here means that he knows that he has enough magic and wants to save time and get triples. Hopefully he's right.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't want to see this fight end because of a miscount. Or because of a missed triple. I would probably switch to Lamp here. Yeah. But did get the triples out of it, so, you know, if he makes it to the end of the fight, then that was a time saver, and it was. So High Ruler has finished in this race between Simple Clips and High Ruler, and has actually gotten second place overall. So this will be
GG to High Ruler.
120.14 behind Obscure Lifeform at 117.47. So very good. Beat out a lot of people who are mentors.
Yeah, that was very well played for someone who, to my knowledge, doesn't have that much experience. At least not with glitches.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that High Ruler was a racer. Must have really been putting a lot of work into it. I also don't know much about him as a racer in general, so maybe he just came from a high execution point or playing a lot of ladder or something.
I've done a few casual races with him and lost some cross keys to High Ruler. He's no slouch.
Simple Clips has a situation again of no magic. I would actually save and quit out of here because you don't want to spend that key. Oh my gosh. That thing is going to drop magic, so...
So we are joined by High Ruler. GG. Congratulations.
GG.
Hello. GG.
Yeah, congrats on second place in this huge race. It's awesome.
I can't believe that I got second, but I'm not happy with, like, some of the time saves I got was because I just couldn't do the tricks. Like, I avoided all of Mire area and went straight to Dig Spot, which I was going to do. Mire Shed, Checkerboard, and then Dig Spot.
Well, Mire Shed had a sword, so I would have actually saved time to do it. So it wasn't all like cheap time save. It was you did get less out of it, but because your routing was really sound.
Yeah, I did feel good about my route. I just wish I could have gotten some of the tricks that I fumbled.
Yeah, well, 5 more weeks of mentor tournament will do that for you, right? If your routing
Yeah.
is this good by week 6, you're going to be a powerhouse in brackets. I was really particularly impressed with what you did in the Turtle Rock into Pod. Like, I didn't realize what you were doing until you were at Catfish.
Yeah, since I had all 3 medallions, I was like, oh, I can open the TR entrance, so then I can do Pod after, which is faster, and then I can, just go straight to Kiki. So that's the thought process I had there. So while I was in Swamp, I was kind of thinking about the best way to finish it. So.
Yeah, I really liked that as well because a lot of, especially more experienced players, will think of like opening the front door of Turtle Rock as actually a time loss because of the cutscene animation, but you definitely used it to your advantage. It was really well done.
Oh, well, thank you. So, yeah, I'm very surprised how well this went. I was like, there's no way that I'm gonna get second place, and I kept waiting for like people to start finishing, and my Ganon fight was horrible. Like, I haven't practiced Master Sword Ganon in a while, and so I was like, oh, this is gonna be terrible, and it was really sloppy, really slow, really bad. Took a death. I mean, I had a fairy, but still, that's a lot of wasted time to wait for the fairy to revive you. So I'm shocked. I'm wondering what it is that tripped people up. I'm guessing maybe the ice rod, but I would think you would route that in somewhere for dig spot. I'm trying to think what else was in the seed that got people.
Oh, it's the mirror. It's the Zelda Cell mirror.
Oh, right. I did escape. Oh, that's right. Okay.
So if you do Eastern before escape, it's a good chance you just go to the Dark World and never do the escape. And if you don't have the mirror going through the Dark World, you don't have a good way to check the shovel. You're kind of just on your own. So I'm actually looking at some of the other racers, and I see a lot of Ice Rod and Mirror Go modes.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, because I completely forgot about that mirror. I thought about that early on. I was like, oh, wow, that's a big... That's big, because a lot of people will either skip escape or put it off, and I like to just... Once I have a sword, I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go do it, because I don't want to leave something in there. And it just happened to work out then. I didn't even think of that. But, alright, well... Unless you guys have anything else, any other things you wanted to talk about, I think I'm going to go. But thanks for having me on Restream.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Good day.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
So Simple Clips has had a bit of a trouble in TR trying to get to the big key here. I think he might have taken a death while we were in interviews. And doesn't have a ton of magic to burn for invince items, so there we go, there's our key. And hopefully the small key, okay, so there's a small key missing. Oh, he opened the door to Trinex. That's where it is.
Yeah.
He doesn't need it. Because I knew that Crystal Roller door was still closed. Big chest would be the key that opens that. Okay, we're back on track here. We have... I mean, Simple Clip still has a chance. Like, there are people still finding their go mode, I'm assuming. Like, given the way the seed has played out. Simple Clip's actually zeroed in on the mirror and Ice Rod pretty quickly after running out of crystals. And there's a lot of places you can go that aren't the escape. So it'll be very easy to get caught in a trap. I really hope...
Definitely.
Now, if Simple Clips dies here, it's not like dying in NNG, because he'll just be in Laser Bridge and can just run back and do it again. Dying in the roller room is actually much worse than dying here would have been. I think there's going to be a magic problem though. So, yeah. If he can get that last hit on the ice head, he'll be okay. Nope. Nah, you gotta wait. Oh, and he drank the potion, so... If you get hit by the head, you can take a little bit more damage than if you get hit by the body. You'll see that the body is doing 3 hearts. The head does. The body does only 1 heart. Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
you can
that's
mirror.
unfortunate.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, maybe just a little flustered and not thinking about it. He's having a rough go with this dungeon.
Yeah, I really do want to know about that GT decision, though. It's been nagging at me. Ended up saving time, though, because GT was completely empty.
Yeah, there were medallions on the left side, but yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, that 136 collection on High Ruler's side, that's pretty good. That's what you want to see. Low collection, so you know your seed wasn't awful.
Yeah, I mean, 136 is actually a decently high collection for a 118 time. That's what makes this extra impressive. Or I guess it's like 120 RTA, but it's still very good.
Agreed. And I also agree with what you said earlier. I myself am a pretty infamous Hyrule Castle skipper myself, and yeah, that... Well, we'll just have to see how the rest of the race turns out. The 2 of the people I expected to be near the top are not done yet, definitely. That's a little surprising, but it's interesting to see when you get a mixture of people with different experience and different routing, how it turns out.
Yeah, well, a lot of these runners who are in the Glitch Mentor tournament, they're not necessarily new players. You know, a lot of them come from a lot of experience playing normal rando, and it doesn't take that long to learn the glitches. It takes a little bit longer to learn the routing. But as long as you have like a good grasp of both, you can hold your own in a race. So if you're just learning yourself,
definitely.
don't be afraid to join these big races. You never know what will happen. Alright, Simple Clip's having a little bit of trouble with Phoenix too, but there's a restock room coming up, so he should be able, at least be able to restore his health and maybe get a fairy in a bottle to make the climb a little bit safer for the rest of it. Ganon, of course, should be fairly simple as long as he can do Silverless Ganon and gets Torch Glitch. Having the Butter Sword makes the first 2 phases pretty free.
Yeah, that mix room, once it starts to go wrong, it can be really hard to get it back under control. It takes a lot of experience to do it right in the first place and to be able to save it from going wrong if you do make a mistake.
Yeah, Mimics is almost like the blind fight. It's scripted. If you know exactly what you're doing, you can do the same thing every time, but as soon as it goes a little bit off, everything you do just adds to the chaos. And it doesn't take that much for it to go off, because they're very sensitive to your movement. It's kind of their thing. Oh, I like this prize pack for Gauntlet, so pretty much probably going to get out of Gauntlet with decent amount of resources. We've already passed the ferry, but I think we might actually pass the ferry again if we kill enough Zazax. Not that we'll need it. And Simple Clip's still on full health.
Oh, the classic hook shot being blocked by the sight line of the enemy. And for those that aren't aware, the enemies give off a non-visible sprite as their vision, like the guards and other enemies, and it can interact with the boomerang and the hook shot, which is unfortunate.
I didn't catch if there was a fairy in Simple Clip's bottle after refill room.
Neither did I, but I want to say the worst of GT is over with, but I don't know, you can, I suppose anything could happen.
He seems, based on his behavior, he seems to be a little bit worried about magic here, which I can understand. He doesn't really have a good way of getting magic back. So he's just being extra careful. You need to light that torch. Okay. That was a little scary. And then here, definitely needs a magic here, unless you want to use lamps for all 4 of them. He does have enough for lamps. Top one first. Okay, so that one's going to drop him down to the laser, but he needs to dodge really quickly. Okay. This is so scary. Okay, now use the fire rod. No, not the top one first. Yeah, this is not going to work. Ugh! Almost worked. But
it was worth a try.
There is a heart
and
here.
For those, you also can bonk over the spark. It does. If you've never done it before, you might be unsure of the timing, but it definitely would have worked.
This will work if he lights and then takes out Burna. Okay, take out Burna. Good. And then light the torch. Very good. We made it. And then drain some magic and do, oh. What's the key situation? I think has to be a key in...
There is a key. I saw when High Ruler did this climb.
Yeah, well, I mean,
the one that NMG runners get.
Simple Clips didn't do anything beyond Bob's chest, so it was quite possible that he left behind a key, but I also know that no keys turned up for High Ruler there, but one of them was the big chest that High Ruler didn't do, so I wasn't sure what the situation was. Where are we going? We're getting the key, of course. And there's a heart there, I didn't know that.
It's one of those hearts that you don't normally get because it's guarded by enemies that do 1 heart of damage.
Yeah, the classic getting hearts is a trap. If you get a heart, you'll just lose a heart in the process, so don't bother. So, okay, I think this is a pretty comfortable amount of health for Simple Clips to have now, at least doing Aga 2. If he dies again, and it's not really a big deal. Spawns you right at the pyramid, you can just try again. But dying here would be pretty bad. But that Torches 2 was pretty harrowing, and I'm glad he made it out of it alive. Yeah, he's taking no chances with this fight. I totally feel that. Spins would be a little safer. I know when you're like trying to get good at the fight, you're supposed to use slashes, but in a situation where you're on 2 hearts and trying not to die, spins are probably a little less likely to get you owned. So, but you know, what is a spin if not the King of Berna that will spin too and protect you? So might as well use it. I think he will need to grab some magic though to do the silverless fight. I don't think he has enough even with a single lamp torch glitch.
Yeah, certainly not.
There are moblins outside of here that will probably drop a fairy and magic if he's been... Oh no, moblins aren't dropping that. I'm not actually sure where you'd get magic. You can mirror and do the uncle chest. The 2 pots that are near it are magic. Or you could just get a potion, which is probably what you're doing. By the time you're here, you might as well just get the potion. Alright, we are locked and loaded. Ready for this fight. Doesn't have enough magic in the bar, but has a blue potion on speed dial, so we can get a full magic refill and heal whatever damage he takes in phase 1 and 2. It shouldn't be too much, given the butter sword. I probably would have bought more than 1 potion in this situation, and once you're there, buying the 2nd potion doesn't really cost anything. You know, it's not like you're going to spend all your money. You might as well have it.
Yeah, I personally agree. I would have probably bought a green just to drink it right away. Or something. But then once you do spend the time to go all the way over there, it's like... you might as well make it worth it.
Yeah, but these hits will get him out of phase 2, and that's really the dangerous part. As long as he gets torch glitch, he'll be okay.
Even if not, it's still perfectly doable with a lamp and a blue potion, but it just won't be fun or quick.
It's not fun. If you're not practiced at the no torch glitch cannon, it can also... you can easily just get off rhythm and run out of magic. I've seen that happen to a lot of like really good players who just don't practice failing torch glitch because they never do, but then when they do, they fall apart. It's worth practicing, no matter what level you're playing at, because you want to have a backup plan. Oh, these are some pretty punishing works, given that he missed a cycle. So these were all extra. Arrows on the light world. I wonder if they were like on PED or something. No, we missed torch glitch and fell. It's actually like, I think it's good that this happened before he drank the potion. Okay, you could just try again and get the fairy on the way back. There's a tournament winner sign there if you want to read it. It lists the, I think it's mostly Ajnev. Oh, I haven't read that sign in a while. We have our own tournament winner sign for glitch modes. It's not somewhere you're going to reach without glitches though.
Yeah, for those that aren't aware, if any newer runners are watching, if you're new to this and trying to do Silverless Ganon, you can just spam the lamp and you won't miss the torch glitch. And maybe they weren't doing that because they didn't have a lot of magic at the time, but if you're not confident of the timing of it, that is a fail-safe way to do it.
I'm guessing it was a little bit of that, and a little bit of Ganon was next to the torch, and probably just afraid to get too close to Ganon and either get knocked off or die. So it might not have even been on the torch. Also, Ganon can just like eat your inputs. If you try to light your torch at the same time that Ganon takes certain actions, sometimes you just press a button and nothing happens, which is why you'd spam the lamp. Because the timing isn't tight, but you know, if you only do one input and it gets eaten, you're kind of screwed.
Yep, that is true.
Alright.
So I managed to get it, but what you want to do in that case is bait the bat away from the torch and then walk to the torch. But managed to get it anyway, though. That was really good.
I'm a little worried about the use of Fire Rod here. I don't actually know that he has enough. Unless he's getting triples. I think he should switch back to Lamp. And just go for doubles. Even singles. I think you could do it with singles. But it's pretty important to get at least something for each cycle when you're on this little magic. Oh! Oh! Miscalculated. Yeah, when Ganon had his arms up like that, that meant he was about to do a fire, which meant that he was gonna freeze and knock you off when you did the spin. But it can take a little bit of time to register that that's what's going to happen. Simple Clips needs magic again. I don't think he has enough for the fight. So another trip to the potion. This is why I would buy two. You have 2 bottles, might as well fill both of them. You have 1, 4, 5, 6 rupees. You're not exactly hurting for cash.
Yeah, this is a little bit unfortunate, but the Ganon fight is pretty tricky, especially if you're not used to being on Restream, that could be a factor as well.
Now we're doing what we wanted to see, which is to drink the potion and fill up, and then fill both with blue. So you have a full magic going in, and you have 2 refills. And now, as long as he doesn't fall or die, you should be able to finish the fight, no matter what happens. It does seem like maybe he only recently learned Silverless Ganon and has not quite gotten a grasp of the timing yet. But doing this fight a few times will be valuable practice for that. Silverless Ganon is one of the most important things you can learn for Link to the Past.
Yeah, for Rando, I'd say it's like the #1 trick you want to know. Because reducing a potential item you need to finish the game is definitely desirable.
And the hint that Ganon gave for Silver's, not promising. Light World is a lot of fetch quest locations. It can be pedestal. I don't know if there's not really that much Light World left that's easy to get to, so in this situation, you pretty much forced into the Silverless Ganon fight. It's not easy to do. If it was Turtle Rock, you could just go back and get the big chest and come back, but something like Light World isn't. Yeah, using the cape is good here, because it's going to get the one, the single cycle in phase 2 has enough magic to, even without drinking the potion, if you can get the torch glitch and get enough doubles, can finish the fight.
I wasn't paying attention during Hyruler's credits, but amusingly enough, that mushroom we saw in Simple Clips' inventory could have led to the arrows.
Okay, so we got full lamp spam, so we're gonna have to drink a potion, but that's okay. Just get a few spins in and then start over with the full magic bar. There we go, there's one. When you're doing these spins, you want to stand to the side of Ganon or just next to Ganon, and then move in like an L shape to bait the fire. Just 2 cardinal directions. And that's pretty much always going to get a spin. I see Simple Clips kind of swinging wide, and that's a result of trying to dodge the fire bat. But if you're just moving cardinally to where you were standing, the fire bat will always miss, and you'll still be next to Ganon and be able to do a spin. Not a bad idea to go for slashes like that. You can actually damage Ganon with the slash. It's a much tighter frame window, but it can happen. And with the Butter Sword, it does the same damage as a spin. You can get a little extra hit there that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise.
Indeed.
Looks like he's finding a rhythm, which is good. Got a poke, though, which is a little unfortunate. Poke that wouldn't have happened on Tempered Sword. Plenty of magic. I would actually maybe even switch the fire out of here. Magic is no longer a concern. The biggest concern is probably falling. I think also a lot of people don't know this. I actually learned this recently, is when you're doing the spin, you can like go all the way inside Ganon and be okay. As long as he's warping, he's not going to damage you. Alright, and that is GG for Simple Clips, and a sub 2 time. Very good.
GG. Official time of 1:49:23. Okay, so it was just rupees on the mushroom, not the silver arrows.
There's still one more thing we can look at. We're working on getting this interview started. Oh, just trying to figure out how to get them in here. There was a mail upgrade on the pedestal, not the silver arrows.
So Magic Bat or Mimic Cave? I'm trying to think, what do we not see in the light world? Checkerboard?
I would hope that Mimic Cave counts as Death Mountain, but I know these hints can be kind of weird. Checkerboard
Oh,
was
yeah.
Checkerboard was not done. I mean, gloves were on Sick Kid, and that was late for a lot of people. And a lot of people put off Desert because I don't think Lambo had an item. And, they found their Ice Rod right before they would have checked Checkerboard, so that would have been go mode. So yeah, Checkerboard is a good candidate for the bow.
Hello.
Hello, GG.
GG.
Yeah, good game. I was doing great in that seed until the end, and then I had skill issues at Turtle Rock, Ganon's Tower, and Ganon.
That's okay. It was pretty rough equipment for Turtle Rock. Like the magic situation was the fact that you were on the prize pack right before you needed the magic and it dropped a fairy was
What was hilarious was I made a mistake in my routing and was going towards Bottle Kid, and I was like, this is gonna be a pain because I don't have the gloves like I thought I did. And then he just gives me the glove, and I thought, okay, I'll take it.
So that's how you got the Ice Rod, is you said, well, now I can do Checkerboard and Ice Rod together?
Well, I think Ice Rod, that was behind the shovel, wasn't it? Or
Yeah. And I think what got you and a lot of people in the seed is if you don't have the mirror when you're doing your Dark World loop, you don't have a good way to get back there. So the top finish times were people who, well, we saw it on High Ruler. I'm going to assume the other top finish times probably had a mirror a little bit earlier and were able to get the Ice Rod when they were there in the area. I'm curious. I do have to ask. You made a decision to save and quit out of GT. What was that about?
I didn't actually want to finish Ganon's Tower. I was only there just to grab a couple checks and get out. Cause
okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I never. And the main thing that I wanted was since I was in there already, I wanted the big key. And the idea was, I thought it might be fast if I finished Ganon's Tower and then immediately fought Ganon because it warped you there. I forgot to take into account that it doesn't heal you or give you magic.
It does not.
So I should not have done Ganon's Tower last.
Yeah, I think just a little advice is I would have at least finished off the left side all the way up to Big Chest, because getting back there from the right side is kind of tough. I don't know if you've done that room very often. No, it's not an easy trip.
Yeah, the only reason I stopped there was because I think at that point I was thinking of doing the Eastern Palace boss at some point, or maybe I already did that, I don't remember. But for some reason I was thinking I don't want to run completely out of arrows, and I usually do that when I fight that boss.
Interesting, yeah.
Well, it ended up working out for you this seed because there wasn't progression in Ganon's Tower this time.
It was empty. You saved time doing that. That's why I was curious, because I was wondering if you know something I don't know.
This is funny. The last couple of seeds I've done, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and then I do a race, and then suddenly nothing goes wrong until the end. But still.
But that's a solvable problem. You just practice those fights, but you can't practice not last locationing stuff. That just happens. That's rando. You can do all the routes, and there's always going to be a route that messes you up. We saw, a lot of mentors get screwed over by that mirror because people who play a lot of glitch modes like to skip the castle.
Mm-hmm. I'm really glad I had the gold sword because I've practiced Silverless Ganon once. I thought I got pretty good at it, and then I was doing it here and really messing it up repeatedly. So if I didn't have that gold sword, I'd probably still be doing it right now.
Yeah, it's good practice though. Like, keep doing these races. Eventually, you'll get your you'll find the rhythm for Silverless Ganon. And there's a lot of tutorials out there too if you want to learn it faster. Go Mode Podcast put out a series of videos called Boots Camp that go over pretty much all the aspects of routing normal seeds. And the last one does do GT and Ganon, so you can learn how to route GT and then fight Ganon in a bunch of different equipment situations.
You'll get the hang of it with time. Trust me, it's not that bad. I actually think that Arrow's Ganon is actually harder to optimize than Silverless, personally.
I think most people would agree that Silver's Master Sword is the hardest Ganon in the game.
I had a hard time just doing Master Sword Ganon, period. The first time I did that, I was like, wait, my sword's not working. I looked it up and I was like, no. Who would design their game this way?
Well, it wasn't intended to be randomized. Let's just say that much, at least.
Well, you wouldn't know it because it feels like it was. The game works really well. Anyway, that's going to be it for the Speed Gaming Daily for today. Any final words about this? Do you plan on keep joining these races, or is this it for glitch modes for you?
No, I'll keep joining.
Excellent. I love to hear that. This was a really good turnout. So yeah, that's for today, Speed Gaming Daily. We have a few more coming up every day of the week, except for the weekend. If you go into the schedule, you can see what's coming up. There's a lot of fun modes to look forward to. Be sure to follow all of the Speed Gaming channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 6, and give our runners and my co-commentator JD and our trackers a follow.